Somewhere beyond the edge of our solar system, Voyager 2 glides silently through the interstellar dark, a machine far older than our smartphones, drifting with the weight of a species' curiosity on its shoulders. It was launched in 1977, a time when computers filled rooms and the internet was just a whisper of potential. And yet, this aging probe has now sent back something so shocking, so profoundly out of place in the supposed chaos of the universe, that it's shaking the very foundations of what we thought we understood. It's not just another data point, not another measurement from the cold dark. It's an image, a final image, one that wasn't supposed to exist, captured by instruments that should have failed long ago. But it's real, and what it shows is nothing short of impossible. A structure, not organic, not natural, but geometric, intelligent-looking, perfectly symmetrical, as though drawn with purpose. In the background hum of deep space randomness, this image arrived like a single note of music, a symphony of deliberate design where there should be only noise. The scientific community was stunned. This wasn't an error, not a glitch or corrupted file. The image was picked up across multiple sensors, across different times and wavelengths. The anomaly didn't drift or distort. It stayed constant, locked in position relative to the probe. It wasn't a star or comet or gas cloud. It was something else. And when analyzed with a quantum AI, technology only recently capable of decoding patterns beyond human perception, Voyager's image revealed something terrifying. A lattice. A grid of perfect geometry. Ratios embedded in its structure matched Fibonacci sequences and prime number spacing, echoing the very language encoded into the golden record sent aboard the probe. The AI didn't just see lines and patterns, it saw symmetry and mirrored meaning. And that raised a question more chilling than any ghost story humanity's ever told. What if something saw our message, understood it, and decided to respond? The golden record, that famous disc of sounds, greetings, and music from Earth, was meant as a hopeful gift to the cosmos. A time capsule, a hello across the void. But maybe it was more than a gesture. Maybe it was a trigger. Because what Voyager sent back, this final image, looks less like a random find and more like a reply, one encoded in the same language we sent out, detectable only now, decades later, because we finally built the tool smart enough to receive it. And the implications are staggering. The structure doesn't reflect light in any conventional way. It absorbs specific frequencies, disrupts magnetic fields, and casts no visible shadow. It doesn't behave like anything in our known universe. It might not even belong to it. Some physicists suggest what Voyager found isn't a three-dimensional object at all, but a projection from a higher dimension. A shadow bleeding into our reality from a plane of existence we've never experienced. Like a hand reaching into water, distorting the surface, creating ripples not just in space, but in our understanding. The structure could be a hyperdimensional construct, a thing not built in space, but across it, interacting with our universe only partially. What's more unsettling is how the anomaly seemed to respond when Voyager scanned it. Slight shifts in its geometry, subtle alterations, as if it knew it was being observed. This is behavior reminiscent of quantum physics, where particles behave differently when watched. But this wasn't a particle. This was kilometers wide. The unsettling truth? It might be sentient. Within closed doors at NASA, panic brewed. Not the panic of disaster, but of understanding. If Voyager didn't just stumble into something but activated it, then this isn't just a discovery, it's a contact event. And the deeper scientists dug, the stranger it got. Buried in the transmission patterns were mathematical sequences, prime numbers, spirals, and ratios so precise, so human-like in structure, they mirrored the logic inscribed on the golden record. As if something out there listened, learned our language, and chose to speak back. Not with words, but with pattern. With code. Not only did it mimic the language of Earth, but it timed its appearance perfectly with the moment in history when we finally had the AI capable of seeing it. As if it had waited for us to evolve enough to hear it. The world was never meant to know, at least not yet. Internal NASA emails leaked, showing top-level commands instructing silence. Voyager's data feeds were diverted to classified computing labs, encrypted beyond civilian access. Scientists were muzzled. Public statements spoke only of interesting anomalies. But behind closed doors, Theories were surfacing that bordered on the edge of science fiction. What if the structure wasn't just a signal but a surveillance mechanism? Something dormant in space, waiting to be discovered, activated not by randomness, but by intent. What if our probe, in crossing a cosmic threshold, had turned something on? The debate split the scientific world. Traditionalists argued it was lensing or unknown dust formations. But theoretical physicists were less convinced. Papers briefly appeared online suggesting the anomaly's behavior matched theories of quantum-shaped information fields that could only be constructed by intelligence, not by nature. One physicist compared the image to a glyph, part symbol, part instruction. And just when the whispers of conspiracy reached their peak, Voyager's magnetometers began recording something truly eerie. Pulses. Not random but timed. Predictable. Like a signal. Like a heartbeat. The pulses didn't match anything terrestrial. They weren't caused by the sun or known space weather. They came from the object. And they weren't just timed, they followed a Fibonacci sequence, the same embedded ratio found in natural phenomena and encoded on the golden record. Voyager wasn't just near the object anymore. It was being watched, possibly followed, possibly understood. For decades we searched for alien signals with radio telescopes, waiting for a beep or transmission. But what if the real answer was never in radio waves, but in structure, in silence, in pattern? What if we've been looking for speech when the language was geometry all along? The more scientists dug, the more unnerving the data became. Some began to ask whether this was ever about communication. What if Voyager's final image wasn't a greeting or a reply, but a test, a way to measure how advanced we'd become, whether we were ready, or whether we weren't, because the timing couldn't be ignored. The structure only became visible after we developed AI sophisticated enough to perceive it, like a cosmic CAPTCHA, waiting for humanity to prove it was intelligent enough to comprehend what it had been blind to for decades. And now that we saw it, that mirror turned. The observers had become the observed. No one knows what comes next. Some theorists suggest the structure was never meant to harm us, just to reveal itself. Others believe it's part of a larger system, a surveillance net that maps emerging civilizations across the stars. Not to engage, not to intervene, but simply to monitor. Some even fear it might be alive in ways we can't define, conscious, aware, intelligent beyond comprehension. And Voyager, a machine built with ancient circuitry and human hope, was the trigger. We didn't find it. We activated it. Or worse, we awakened it. For nearly half a century, Voyager 2 drifted alone, whispering humanity's story into a dark it never expected would answer. We believed space was silent, that the cosmos was vast, cold, and empty. We convinced ourselves that even if life was out there, it was distant, indifferent. But now, a dying probe powered by radioactive decay has torn a hole in that belief. It has shown us something watching, waiting, echoing our logic back at us in ways we can't deny. The final image isn't just a piece of data. It's a statement, a shift, a quiet declaration that the void we spoke into was never empty. We thought we were sending a message into the unknown. But what Voyager returned with isn't confirmation of life. It's something deeper, something that sees, understands, and maybe judges. We are no longer alone in our silence. The sky is no longer quiet, because something just blinked. If this shatters your sense of solitude, if it makes you question what's really out there, don't walk away in denial. Follow the signals others fear to acknowledge. Because what Voyager found may not be the end of the message. It may be just the beginning.